Smokin' Poetry podcast is going on. We need a rock band. And I need Jacinda Gabby to help me get the rock band and interview them here. So we have former guest Jacinda Gabby and Aughter.
That's us.
Where?
Well, why don't we go... Well, let someone else talk a little bit. But before we do that, Jacinda Gabby has a book. We're going to talk a little bit about that later.
Okay.
That's going to be out for sale soon. And we have... Well, we'll just go through. We have Lehya.
Hi.
Zach. Brittany. Dan. Benji. And Tony.
That's Tony.
And why don't we go through... I'll just go in order. Why don't we talk about who is Aughter? What are you guys?
An animal.
Well, it's actually a funny story. The name is kind of an accident. Because when we first got together, everyone was on board with Aughter, like the animal as the name. And I was like, no way, I'm not doing an animal. No chance, no shot. It's not happening. And then we couldn't agree on another name. So then someone pitched, like, what if we did like Aughter, but like with a top hat? And just spelled it fancy. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And then that's how we got to Aughter.
It's true.
I wish I had a better story, but that's it.
Sometimes it sounds really great because you can just like bounce it out, like if you're angry or something.
You ought to know by now.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, something exciting is coming up. We probably should do this a little bit early, so because you're about to do. Actually, by the time this is released, we'll be in the middle of doing something. Maybe we'll get this as a clip, though. What's coming up?
A lot, honestly. We are working on our first single. We're working with Scott Wilson, from Sunshine Studios, working with him on our first single. We're actually shooting the music video for that single on Sunday. And then right after that, we start our big tour on Thursday in Denver. And we're going to be riding that wave from the 27th to August 6th. Going all the way out to Virginia, and it's gonna be
Virginia Beach.
Exactly. It's gonna be a trip for sure.
Just hope there's no hurricanes for you.
Oh, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I hope there is.
No?
I kind of hope there is.
Gonna be a moment.
We haven't had one in Virginia in a while.
Bring you guys close together.
Yeah, just hunkered down during a show, playing in a closet. Show must go on.
2 weeks of no electricity.
Perfect.
Don't want to do that.
Please film it and we will watch.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try to.
Games real quick.
Our plan is to vlog the whole thing so that every show will be posting something from that day of what we end up doing in the city, or if we end up fist fighting each other, we're gonna end up getting it on camera.
Okay.
And so
Yeah,
the world can see it.
I recently bought like 7 GoPros.
He did.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
7 GoPros off Temu. And none of them are actually
Shout out to
GoPros.
Temu.
Shout
Yeah, we're all wearing Temu drip today.
What was your question about the tour? You had a question that we were talking about.
So I was wondering how you guys put it together. Like, how did you choose the cities you wanted to go to? How did you choose the venues that you're going to play at?
So we are all from the Midwest or from the East Coast. So we we're like, well, we will have people that want to come support us in those areas. So let's figure out those areas and then find places in between. And luckily enough, a long time ago I was in a band, so I had a lot of connections anyway to find, and a little bit of help from other band members. We created... Let me start over. With a little bit of help from some of the band members, we created a tour that runs most of 70 up into Chicago on 80 and then back into Virginia, and then we're going to head home. So we're pretty excited. We're getting good feedback already with the shows, and they're still a week out at this point. But when this comes out, we'll be in the middle of tour. So
That's wild that it's a week out already.
I know. Yeah, today's July
buy a shirt
20th.
online to help us get home. We need gas money. It is oughterofficial.com. Was that good?
That's great.
Solid plug.
Anything you need to
And
plug.
honestly, I've gone on the website. It's really affordable stuff. It
Yeah,
really
it's
is. You can afford it. Trust me.
New shirt just dropped 2 weeks ago because this comes out 2 weeks after today. It just dropped. It's confusing.
It dropped today.
And why buy some superhero thing for something if you can spend the money for something that's cool and unique?
That's
And
true.
we're gonna talk
Exactly.
and just talk about that cool uniqueness because that's part of why we're here. Because it's like we couldn't just get any band. We had to get you guys do some really unique stuff between your lyrics and your
Thank you.
style, the kind of music up and down. I told you I'm going to pick on who's not talking.
Yeah.
How would you guys describe Zach and Lehya? What do you think? How would you describe the band?
I think we've been tossing around like what genre do we fit into, and we definitely fit into rock, but that's a very broad category. We kind of just call it alternative rock, but we all kind of have a little bit of different backgrounds and influences. Brittany and I kind of play or come from more of a slightly punk rock kind of background. I don't know if you want to speak to your influences.
I'm hip hop. I did rap music for about 15 years, and when I was proposed,
He didn't want to be in a band before.
Well, yeah, and honestly, that was true. Like, I always thought I could do it on my own. I'm never going to join a band. And then I got proposed the idea of, like, hey, hip-hop guy, do you want to front a rock band? And I'm like, sure, why not? Like, let's see what happens. Just did it because, like, I was trying to expand my horizon because I didn't want to do rap forever. I wanted to kind of, because I love all music almost more than rap, which is weird. But the opportunity jumped, and I'm like, let's do it. And it's become probably my favorite project I've ever been a part of.
How did you guys kind of come together?
So I can explain that.
So you go into explain.
About a year and a half ago, I was hosting an open mic night at a bar called Acme. They've since closed down. They weren't really a bar that anyone could find unless you really dug deep. And Dan wound up coming in one day. Mm-hmm. And he was doing this hip hop thing, and he absolutely killed it every single time. I'm like, one day I'm going to be in a band with this guy. Anyhow, he was playing the festival that Brittany was playing in, and I guess she had said something along the lines of, hey, I'm going to start a band with that guy. And then all of a sudden it happened, and then they went through a little bit of a changeover with some of the bandmates. And eventually they pulled in Ben. And then after they pulled in Ben, they pulled in me. And then all of a sudden Zach was like, hey, I exist. And he wound up driving in
Drove
with his
across the
dog
country for this.
Yeah.
25 hours
Virginia.
Okay.
from
Nice.
Virginia to Colorado Springs to be a part of this motley crew. And Leah's been there from the beginning. And no one really knew why Lehya was there at first, I don't think. And then all of a sudden it was like she became this asset with a tambourine and a shaker and a voice. And like Marley, who's behind the scenes right now filming us, she's one of our official band photographers. And I mean, it's just been a wild ride. It really has.
It has been crazy. Like the puzzle pieces all just kind of fell together as they needed to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Ben was picked up at an open mic night one
We
day.
scalped him.
Yeah,
Yes, we
so-
scalped Ben.
So
Which-
the story,
Okay.
the
Who do we
story,
shout out to?
a lot of it links back to me and Daniel and Lehya. And the story with me and Daniel is he was on the festival flyer, so I creeped everybody because I wanted to be familiar with all the music.
She's a creep.
And I I heard his voice and I said he needs to be in a band. So I said, and I told my friend, I said, bring him to my house. And my friend didn't even tell him why he was coming over. So
Yeah,
I'm
no.
scared. And he shows up and we're like, we're going to start a band and you
He
go
thought
sing.
he was getting roofied.
You go sing in the band
It
because
was-
I heard you sing and I like the singing.
It was ridiculous because I got a text from our mutual friend and he was just like, come over to my friend Brittany's house on this day. I'm like, okay, cool. On the drive here, I was like, what are we doing? He's like, we're starting a supergroup. I'm like, what does that even mean? And I got here, they're like, you want to sing in a band? And I'm just like,
No.
I don't know if I said no.
Look up the music video "My Big Chungus" by Searching Bucks.
Yeah, okay.
That's this man right here.
Well, we do need to specifically
Oh
plug
my
all
gosh.
these things. So
Well,
Yeah.
okay, it's
any view is a good view.
It's a
my
song-
Big Chungus.
Yes.
When I came back to hip hop
The video,
in
you have to watch the
2018, I accidentally wrote a song called My Big Chungus. It was not on purpose. I was at work. I didn't know what Big Chungus was. I knew it was a meme. So I made a little ditty in my head to remember, because at that job I couldn't use my phone on the clock.
No, listen to this one.
I got to my car, I played an instrumental, and it fit the melody line. So I recorded it on Snapchat, sent it to my test group. They're like, that's catchy. I'm like, is it? And they're like, finish it. So I finished it, and I sent it back out as a joke, and they're like, release that. So I recorded it, and then I sent the finished product out. They're like, do you have a video for this? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. And they're like, make one. So I'm like, I guess I'll make one. And now it's one of my most played songs on Spotify, and I can't
He's a
escape
one-hit
it.
wonder.
Such a good one.
I wanted to get to some songs.
Oh,
Because I will tell you guys, the age or no, whatever that is, you got as much energy as anyone I have ever seen, regardless of their age.
We put on a show, yeah.
And I think it's time to prove it.
Okay.
Oh.
So maybe we'd sit down, unless there's anything else really important. I think we should go do a little show-off stuff, and maybe we'll do a little follow-up from there.
Sure.
All right.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
So we migrate.
Holy cow! We are in. Do you believe what we're doing here?
No.
We're in Augter's basement.
We're not.
Oh my goodness!
Basement.
We're gonna. Any enemy's addresses we should be giving out. Well, we won't do that. But we're in Augter's basement. And by the way, we've been rolling, and we were having this talk on the car on the ride over about bass, and we've noticed a lot of our friends are doing the singing, guitar, drums, and they're not either doing bass or advertising. Why does bass matter, and why are we going to demonstrate how it changes? Yeah, Brittany.
Well, I'm actually you want me to?
You can use the microphone.
I play guitar mostly, but when we started this, we didn't have a bass player. I just felt it was kind of important because it is like the backbone. And I try to play a little bit more melodies in my bass line because I'm naturally more of a guitarist, so I don't really have a good story for you.
But I just noticed so much of people not advertising bass. Anything you want to say to people out there about why you need to get a bass to get your band together?
Fills it out.
It fills it out. You really just need bass. It like glues everything together. I mean, that's why I decided to play bass before we had Zach and before we had Ben. I was like, well, we need something good to hold it together. So it wasn't, you can have guitar and vocals and that's fine, but at the end of the day, when you have a rock band, you need bass. I'm sorry.
Well, should we show off live here?
Bass is the glue. Oh, forgot that. If we're going to show off bass, we might as well play Rage then.
That song hinges on bass.
You guys.
That was a rage? Yes. All right. Angry rage. story about it.
Yes.
Yes. Rage was written, essentially I sat down and I'm like, what am I mad about? What in the world am I mad about today?
Ted Cruz, obviously.
Fuck Ted Cruz. No, I was mad at the state of politics. I was mad at a whole generation of old people destroying the planet, letting kids die in schools and doing nothing about it. I was tired of nobody loving each other, no one supporting each other, everyone's only out for themselves. So I sat down and I just wrote it all on a page, and it became the song Rage. This is my rage.
Well, thank you for putting it into music and not doing something to hurt someone.
But yeah, we got more. If you want to hear more, if you want to do the thing, if you want to top star, we can
Let's
just.
stop the start.
We're back!
Yes, let's just do it. Let's just fuck it. What were you just saying about what's the questions? Rapid fire?
What's your favorite color?
Red.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
Frozen.
Was I asking you? That's a good choice. What are your deep intellectual thoughts on the Academy Award nominee process?
Jesus Christ, Daniel.
Jesus has nothing to do with it. Tony, who's your favorite DC superhero?
Me!
That's bullshit. Ben, what's it like sitting next to Tony?
Fuck, dude.
See you next time on Rapid Fire Questions.
One way or another, we're doing something with
Favorite
that.
animal?
Yeah.
Not the otter.
It is the It's the
Does your merchandise have any little hints to the animal otter?
I've been fighting that for what feels like decades. And I'm
Decades.
finally caving, and we're finally
We have
Show 'em
stickers.
the stickers.
Where are the stickers?
Are we gonna do
I
that?
actually have a
there it is.
sticker
That two birds.
on my phone of
We have
Aughter
stickers.
official. You can't see
No,
it, but
no.
it's
If Lehya,
Show
you
the
wanna
camera,
show
Lehya.
the camera.
and
Show 'em the otters.
This is
while she's doing that, I
I got one
also
right here. It's already out.
oh sorry.
Yeah,
You
So-
just have like lots of stickers.
But while she's doing that, I figured
You
this
probably
is
gotta get
Give me a
close.
sticker real quick.
goodness.
Oh, I want
gravy.
stickers. Can we get stickers to give them?
Absolutely.
You may.
And hang on.
And look at this
Before
picture we got.
anything, though,
What are you doing?
this doesn't want to peel. Oh, here we go. We're going to put a sticker on our host.
On the
Oh,
host.
Right here.
Okay.
There we go. That's
You
what I'm
could-
talking
there's a lot
about.
of places you could have put that.
um,
I
You
said
can
while
put it
we're
on your shirt. It makes sense on your shirt.
yeah.
I like it better on his face.
Don't completely kill my blood here. You know. Let me get this ready here. All right.
on the subject of merch, for being our host and for having us on, we thought it would be appropriate to give you some gifts. So we have another sticker that I was going to give you.
Oh, this is nice.
We have a wonderful
That's very pretty.
premium Aughter t-shirt,
Oh, that's a good one.
front and back.
Oh.
And then I had a button. I think it fell. That right here. And we also have
Big button.
the official Aughter button.
Otter button.
Oh,
And
Ow.
And later, I'll give you,
You know
a
what?
basement otter tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm not a licensed tattoo artist.
I will hold up.
Maybe be drunk as well.
And yeah, who does make the T-shirts, by the way? We were talking.
This guy.
This guy.
This guy right
Tony
here.
Like you
is
actually
the
have
one.
like the printing material
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
like
he's
the
got a
T-shirt and the
screen
knitting.
print and yeah.
he's
Really?
Yeah.
You want some
Got
much
an oven?
merchandise company?
Yeah, so
Oh, I have ideas.
I need a way to kind of substitute the lack of income. So my wife and I started printing T-shirts. Actually, we weren't even printing them. She was doing like the little Cricut heat press thing,
Oh.
and we sold a couple. I'm like, hey, this is kind of a good idea. And I had worked in the T-shirt business before. I worked for a couple T-shirt companies. And all of a sudden I saw one day on social media a band was looking for T-shirts. I'm like, hey, my wife made some T-shirts. And next thing I know, we're LLC'd and we're making T-shirts for World Touring Bands. So if you guys ever need merch,
that's true.
check out Merchandise Magic on Facebook or merchandisemagic.com.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
Good.
I don't know what we're talking
Can
about.
I hire you to just do promos all day long?
Right?
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
That-
you can even reenact the J.G. Wentworth commercial.
J.G.
But let's
Wentworth.
not do it now.
He's gonna get when you pee.
Well, no, but you should still wash your hands.
You should
after
wash your
you
hands
pee.
before you.
These moments are perfect if they're on, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
People that at the
We're
shop too.
back.
We're back.
we're back from the bathroom.
Are we?
My bad.
I'm going to the bathroom right now.
Oh.
Man.
Thank you for telling us.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. I'm gonna let you turn it over to you because I'm too stunned after that little revelation.
So what I was wondering is, how do you guys write your songs? Do you guys write them together? Do you guys like have one person write them?
It's normally
Just go back to like the first songs because the process has changed a little bit.
Well, I look at it like a hybrid now because it really depends on the song. Because there can be a song that Zach brings, and he's like, "Hey, I got this guitar riff that I really like," and we sit down with it, and then typically I'll find a melody line that fits it. And then once that dynamic happens, then everyone gets together and we kind of start to break it down. And then once the music part is done, I'll usually go off and I'll write it lyrically.
I'm the last person to ever have any
Yep.
input. All I do is hit things, and they make sounds.
The song gets finished, we're like, Tony, we need the bum bum.
Play some drums to this.
Got it. But yeah, but sometimes it's a collective effort. Like sometimes someone will play a note and my head will come up like the Undertaker, and I'll be like, play that again, and then that note sparks a whole song in the moment. Sometimes it's an idea from one of us, and sometimes I bring lyrics first, and then a song comes from that. And it really just depends on the day. We don't really have a set way of doing it. We just get together, and magic usually just happens.
I would just add that the fact that we all kind of have different backgrounds and influences, and each one of us can bring an idea or a song, it gives our set list kind of a variety of sounds. But once we're all on this, have parts of the song, it sounds like Aughter, but I think it gives variety.
Speaking of which, what's all of your guys' biggest musical influence? Lehya.
My biggest musical influence? I mean, I really like, there's a band called Devil Makes Three. I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but they are one of my favorites. And the way that it flows, the way that it sounds, the way that it makes you move, they're one of my biggest influences.
All right, Zach.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place in influences, but in terms of like guitar-wise, like what I'm influenced there, I listen anything from like 60s rock to 90s rock. So like Fleetwood Mac is one of my favorite bands of all time. Queen is one of my favorite bands. Nirvana, Foo Fighters, all throughout the decades.
My influences range quite a bit. I don't, unless it's guitars like Wes Borland of Limp Bizkit. I don't really have too many influences that are like person specific because I find a lot of influence in lyrics. But like some of my favorite bands are Tank and the Bangas, Limp Bizkit, even Taylor Swift, Amberlin, Thursday. I listen to everything. There's this small jazz band called Ghost Funk Orchestra. They're from New York City, and they're a very tiny band. I love them. Every time they come on my playlist, I'm just having the time of my life. So my influences are everywhere.
Can I just ask a question?
Nope.
I just can't get past it, Brittany.
I'm just gonna.
Why?
Taylor Swift.
No, not Taylor Swift. I get. Why Limp Bizkit? what is it about Limp Bizkit?
It's my way or the highway.
My way or the highway.
I just, from someone who's heard Limp Bizkit.
Dude, they put on the best show. What? I mean, I don't vibe with any of their fans.
Listen,
I don't understand that.
There's no judgment. My name isn't Judy. I just sometimes like when someone says they like Limp Bizkit, I want to know why.
Wes Borland is one of the best guitarists in the world.
That's
ever.
Fair. Okay.
So, yeah, and he also has a couple other projects, and they're slipping my mind right now, but yeah. They're good too, but they're all kind of that eerie rock stuff. So
variety, see, it's the spice of life.
I mean, I did say Limp Bizkit and Taylor Swift, so
those are two very
opposite corners of the world.
Yes.
So what are your influences, Benji? You've been talking a lot.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
Benji. No,
this is just like court. You got to pick on the people who aren't talking and you figure out what's going on.
Benji.
You haven't been talking in a while, so we're gonna get you to talk a little.
My
Get
favorite
front and center with the camera.
my favorite band in the world is Bright Eyes. Their singer Connor Oberst is the best lyricist in the world, undoubtedly. No one can change that mind. But as far as like guitar pieces go, I love Randy Rhoads. Fucking like probably the best guitarist who've ever touched a guitar, dude. Like he is. Like even Crazy Train, one of the most popular songs in the world. Just the way he talks to that guitar is insane, and I want to implicate that not on a level of complexity, but on a level of chordature, where it comes across simple or complex. You can tell you're listening to Aughter And so that's what I try to get across, you know. Regardless of our influences, I try to just be as unique as we can when I'm writing songs. And this man right here,
What I do?
we make some good-ass music, so.
Yes. Part of why I'm saving you got doing this order, Benji, you're the first person I met. You kind of brought me, to everyone here. Benji did, and he actually backed me up in some little open mic fun, and let me make jokes about you. They're nice jokes.
I'm here for it, man.
They're nice jokes. And,
He is the joke of the band, so it's okay.
people did laugh. So that was must be. But then I remember you guys did this really cool thing, and I think it was Barquet.
Okay.
And I remember you were doing your sing thing, and Tony's just like there, like he just happens to be hanging out and stuff. And then all of a sudden he gets up there, and it's like, who is this guy crashing the stage or something? But you did the sing thing back and forth, and it was like the coolest thing ever. I remember I just saw it, I was like, whoa, that was just that back and forth thing was so cool. What was that? Do you remember what that song was?
That was Nostradamus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 Nostradamus, why do
Oh yeah, when you came
Because we
up
were
on
trying to
stage
sell
with
tickets
me.
for Sunshine.
Yeah, you did part of my song with me. I believe that's what you're referring to when he came up on stage with me. Yeah, that was one of my tracks.
And a lesson to all you other aspiring musicians of how to sell tickets. Because that was the coolest thing ever, and it worked.
You gotta go
I
out
remember a few people showed up from there, up to your show,
Gotta get out
including
there.
me.
Gotta get out there in the thick of it, because I mean, at the end of the day, like the people who go to open mics, like
They love
they're
music.
just like us. Like we all love
Artistry.
music. We all love this art form. We would do anything for our craft. So like those are the people that you want to actually get to know.
Okay.
It's one thing to be like, hey, buy my ticket. It's another thing to go down there and like watch other people, get to know other people, try to make actual friends and not just make transactions.
Yeah.
So let me get to the party crasher first, who crashes the stage here with his amazing, cool little back and forth singing drums. What is it? Your influences?
So my biggest influences are so the person who made me want to start drumming was Travis Smith of the band Trivium. They're a metalcore band. I got real big into them in 8th grade and all throughout high school. I actually met them a few times. I was kind of their stalker when they were on their Ascendancy tour and their second tour. I forget what it was. Anyhow, he was just so down to earth. I remember I was outside of the Congress Theater in Chicago, Illinois, and he was sitting out there chain smoking cigarettes and rapping his drumsticks. And Matt Heafy, the lead singer of the band, who's still the lead singer, he couldn't be bothered with any fans. I was 15 years old, riddled with fucking pimples, hair down to my waist, just your quintessential ugly, like Magic the Gathering playing nerd kid.
You're talking like that changed.
It has to. But anyhow, he was the only one who was like, hey man, what's going on? And he was just so personable. So like, he's the guy who made me want to play drums. And then the person who really, I think, solidified my style was Taylor Hawkins. I mean, he was in Alanis Morissette. He was the drummer for Foo Fighters for 24 years, up until he passed away in last year, about this time. And I don't know if you can tell, but I kind of took on his image in a way.
I also noticed you kind of have that energy. You have like more than the average drummer, if there is such a thing. Not, you tend to have that extra kind of.
That's called ADHD.
That's a mental disorder.
Your lawyer's trying to make it not sound nice here.
I'm 32 years old and I have the same energy I've had since I was 12. And I think one of the things is music really brought life back to me, because for the last few years before I started picking up drums, like I had taken a break from music and I was sad. I was down in the dumps. Like nothing really piqued my interest anymore. And then one day I was at a pawn shop with my wife and I saw this drum set sitting there for $300. I'm like, hey, I always wanted to play drums. And I was a guitar player for 15 years prior to that. I was mediocre at best the entire 15 years. I would learn like the main riff of a song and then I'd be like, oh, this is boring. On to the next song. So I know bits and pieces of every song on guitar, but I could never play one all the way through start to finish. And like I always taught myself in the car, like just air drum into the radio, and I was like, I want to be a drummer.
The story? Dreaming of This tells the story of a young kid at 8 years old who had a dream. And he started to grow up, and he became a grown man in life that we all know. Got him, beat him down. His inspiration dried up. It never went as his young mind envisioned. But as he grew older, grew past that, he became an older man who said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. And realizing the joy that comes from pursuing something you're passionate about strictly because you're passionate about it. Reaching for the stars, not letting it go. And finally, at the end of it, he brought one home. That's dreaming of this. I hope to be like the old man in that story. Thanks, Tony.
Alrighty, hey, so Daniel, what are some of your influences?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
There's a lot. As far as musical influence, like my taste is across the board. Like I'll like anything from Slipknot. There's I don't know what the. We good?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Marley's back. They're just waving. No, but like Slipknot. I mean, Disturbed, Metallica. There's a band I like called Phineas. They scream a lot. I love them. But that goes all the way across the board to like the Civil Wars and like Brooke Fraser and everything in between.
Rick Astley.
He's talented, but as far as like lyrical influence, I would say my big one is his name's Lupe Fiasco. He does rap and hip hop, and he is one of the most methodical writers I have ever heard. Everything that he writes feels like it's wrapped in metaphors and similes, and you have to kind of dig through them and understand the double entendres and sometimes triple entendres to get to what he's trying to say. And that's a big influence on me because I love music that makes you think. I love music that you have to listen to one or two times to really get to the meat and potatoes of what the song is really about. But on the flip side, I also love storytelling. Like, I love when you can take the listener on a journey through the whole song in a way that it feels like they're there, or that they can put themselves there.
Okay.
So not get hyper specific about things, but do it in a way that conveys an emotion or it conveys a scenario that the listener can put themselves in there. So guys like Eminem are big on that, like Tupac, Biggie. A lot of my influences are hip-hop based because that's what I did for so long. But again, I pull from across genres, and a lot of them I couldn't even, I gave you a lot already. I couldn't do more. We'd be here all day. But I think that's what kind of helps make our music unique as well, is because we all pull from so many different genres. And there could be a song that Zach's like, oh, this is like this indie rock song that I liked. And now we got an indie rock Aughter song. Or we got a couple of our songs have hip-hop influences in them. So like as you listen to us, it's like one big musical journey. And so yeah, Aughter's one of my influences now too, because I'm always trying to write things that are a little different in nature. And I've been talking too long, so I'm gonna...
Well, I really like how you talked about like your sound and stuff. So I looked you guys up on Spotify before I came. And there's Aughter Radio. And so there's all these different artists that you guys supposedly sound like.
And who are
So everyone gets one guess
Off Killer, off the one.
on
Off
like
of
who
Killer.
you think is on this playlist.
I honestly believe it's gonna be Nickelback.
Not Killer, no.
Killer.
Of Mice of Man, I can see that.
There's
off that
actually
song.
no
What is it?
Nickelback.
Whoa.
Okay. So
Killer's bad metal.
Should we reveal or should we make the
No,
audience?
No, we should all get
Let's
one.
guess.
Yeah.
Let's take
Zach?
shots in the dark.
So I'm saying Nickelback.
I'm saying Rise Against and Of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
One guess.
I would say who's somebody that's
Stand.
terrible.
Somebody
Terrible.
Saving Abel.
Someone great.
Hi, Scott. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Scott. Scott's our music producer, by the way.
Killer, dude.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna go 90s and say like something like in the ballpark of like Bush.
The Cranberries.
I'm gonna say like Metallica, just because
I can see it off Killer.
Interesting choice.
we don't sound anything.
You're killer, no.
Who you got? Because I
I
can't
can't
decide.
even fathom to think of
You
who
know,
we sound
honestly, is Taylor Swift up there? Because I just feel
Taylor
like.
Swift.
Obviously.
Kelly
Obviously.
Clarkson.
And I'm
Taylor
the
Swift.
tambourines, the
No.
vocal combo.
I
does
guess
make
my question is: are there bands on there that we would know?
Yes.
Okay.
There are.
So it's not just a bunch of indie bands. So let me.
No, it's not.
My
And
Chemical Romance.
some of these are like repeat bands, like the same band but like multiple songs.
Oh, snap.
Imagine Dragons.
I prevail.
My Chemical Romance.
That's insulting.
Legacy.
Slayer!
Obviously.
Oh God!
Alright.
Yes.
Who are the
Who
top,
are they?
top 5
Okay.
ones that you see?
The top 5. This is actually the number 1. Cage the Elephant.
I could see
That is
that.
a compliment.
I could see that.
That's crazy to me because all of our other songs would replicate that sound much more than Killer.
I agree with that, but Cage the Elephant. So that makes me think like Arctic Monkeys is on there too.
Well, so there's Leopold and His Fiction. That was also
Okay.
a top song. There's Alt J.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't even know who that
Siamese
guy is.
Elephants.
What's with elephants and otter?
Yeah.
Animals. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
that's what it
I think
is.
that's what they did.
Yeah, it's probably it. This might have nothing to do
Blue
with
Gorillas are on
This
it.
could be the noises for all we know.
And then the last one, I'd say Beach Goons.
Oh.
Beach Goons?
Yes.
Okay,
Is
that's
that like, hey, you guys?
well,
on the beach?
that's the Goonies. That's a different form of media,
Oh.
but
Hey, I'll take
Trudy
it.
and the
I'll be
Romance, Mike Pinto, Hippocampus, Gear, the
Hippocampus?
Delta Rigs,
That's a
Shane
little-
T, Me Likes Bees.
This is the algorithm pulling from my Wi-Fi because you were sitting in my house.
No, I like pulled this up actually before I like came.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so like Alt
Interesting.
J, like I was already listening to it.
That is like the Bonnaroo playlist.
Cage the Elephant is a
Killer.
major compliment because they are.
Hey, Bonnaroo,
fantastic.
if you're watching this,
Oh goodness gracious!
put us on your next show next summer.
Or else.
By the
or
way,
else.
The Who stage.
Bonnaroo, book us or else.
The Who stage. Call Scott Wilson. He's like important.
Something like that.
Something like that.
now I do want to circle back to Tony
Oh,
because
no.
yeah,
Oh.
because we had our little video snafu.
Just wind him up real quick.
So I just whatever, and again, whatever you do or don't want to say on the second little cut here, since we had our little recording, Mike Harris did not do his video storage properly. Problem. Oops, sorry for making you do this twice, but here we go.
Yeah, so my biggest musical influences are Travis Smith, the original drummer from the band Trivium. They're a metalcore band. And the reason why I love that man so much is because he was the only member, aside from Paulo Gregoletto and Corey Bellew, who took the time to hang out with me as this annoying little 15-year-old kid. And then Taylor Hawkins, I think, is who I emulate the most in my drumming style. He played in Alanis Morissette, and then he finished out a 25-year career before his untimely passing with the Foo Fighters. And, kind of going with the whole Taylor Hawkins look. I dyed my hair blonde. I'm growing facial hair, the little bit that I can grow. I'm trying real hard.
He's
And
giving it his best.
I'm a real boy. But no, his energy, everything about him, he's goofy. He's always happy. And, I am huge on just vibing. So, every time I've watched any live Foo Fighters video of them performing live or a music video, he's always a happy-go-lucky guy. And it's like, I want to be like that. I want to make people smile when I play.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's about it.
You are lively, and I appreciate.
I saw them
that.
live, Trivium. I just remembered Mayhem Fest 2015, dude. Never forget. They're pretty good as fuck.
And I don't know if I should repeat my thing because of how this whole video editing storage thing went. So I don't know how the splicing is going to work, but I'll just say it and may or may not cut this out if it's duplicate. I just don't know yet. But you have that extra energy compared to what you see in. Again, I don't know if there's such thing as an average drummer, but you have that extra energy. You have that something different that I notice, and. We already got my little How I Met You guys. That was okay.
Yes.
I think we got that recorded good. I don't want to say that again. It was too good the first time. But I don't mind making you go through your whole spiel to it twice.
Sure. 5 times, whatever.
Whatever. Anything else you want to say that we cut out or may have missed it, we want to make sure they got about you and your influences and why you do this.
I mean, I should probably be medicated. I've got ADHD out the wazoo. And other than that, you only live once, so live it happily, you know? Live your best life every day. Who cares what my dad says, right?
Oh my goodness.
No, my dad's
I agree.
actually a huge supporter, so, you know, my entire family's been super supportive, and, you know, that means more to me than anything in the world.
That is huge.
That's weird. My dad's still telling me to get a job. I have 3.
We're Aughter for the 3rd time, and this song is called Dirt and Cold. Staring my reflection just to see what he would say, but it's like a empty looking right back in my face. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, I know that for sure I'm something that I'll never see. Reaching out my hand, they say they cannot rescue me. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, I know. When I'm prepared to see the end, to think these things that we were Christians, so I can begin again. And you don't know the things I've done, living my life on the road. Can't put me with my friends, hope they simply take me down. Don't hesitate to jump in, I'm not thinking about the ground. That's my fault. Oh, my fault that I got me in with my integrity. If I believe it's taking, he would take me back away. That's my fault. Oh, that's my fault. I think it's time to leave down. Maybe when I left, I'll find it all around. That's my fault. Oh, that's my fault. When I'm prepared to see the end, these lights I see a Christian, so I can begin again. If you don't know the things I've done, living my life on the road. My fault. When I'm prepared to see the end, if these lights are found a Christian, so I can begin again. If you don't care the things I've done, living my life on the road. Again, oh, again, there ain't no hope. This song's called Dirt and Cold, and it's a sad song. It's about being at the end of your rope, essentially feeling like you're dead already. Dirt and cold, like that's all you feel. It's like you're already buried, and it's an expression of how that felt for me when I was in that moment, in hopes that it can let someone else know that, hey, you're not alone, fam. We all sad together. We one big depressed family. That sounds sad. All right. Thanks, Tony.
I'll let you guys go.
Yeah.
Who wants to go?
We're good. What are we talking about now?
We're back.
Hi. So you guys are gonna go tour on a van, in one van all together?
In a
Yeah.
minivan.
In a minivan.
One mom mobile. You're going across country.
With the trailer.
With a trailer.
Yeah.
I did buy a trailer.
We did get a
That
trailer.
did happen.
It's gonna be a mess.
Close
but,
quarters.
But we came together and created some ground rules to try to ensure our sanity. And my favorite one actually came from Zach,
Okay.
which is no Funyuns, apparently.
Oh yeah, in the car.
No.
No smelly
No waking
food.
people up while they're
And
sleeping.
Funyuns are smelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Funyuns are that's where he draws the line. Funyuns.
What about Fritos?
No, see, we also do the line
absolutely
at
not.
Cool
I hate
Ranch.
Cool
Fritos.
Ranch Doritos.
Yeah, because they make me violently sick, the smell of them.
I could attest.
So while we're on the subject, I'm going to add a new rule. No ham sandwiches, because I don't like how bread smells.
Bread?
Bread?
What?
You better believe it.
Can they
That's my
have
favorite smell.
No, I'm just being...
I mean, you ought to know
I
by
know,
now.
I'm just making sure. You're
He's not.
like, banning bread. I'm like, well, what
No
kind?
bread. I'm being overtly dramatic because we can't have Funyuns or Cool Ranch Doritos.
Brittany wants to make sure
I
everybody
like
washes
Cool
their
Ranch
feet every
Doritos
night.
Oh yeah,
Valid.
so
Right.
so one of the rules is you have to wash your feet every night for
With
sure.
baby wipes.
Yeah, like you
They have
have
to
to
be
wash
lavender.
them for real.
Are you guys gonna sleep in the van?
No.
No,
Yes.
but I don't want to smell your damn feet.
We're gonna sleep on a lot of floors.
Yeah.
A lot of hardwood. We're all gonna bring a pillow.
A lot of benches and parts.
I don't believe
No,
that's
we're
going to happen.
You guys can bring tents.
Hey, Mom, can we just
Colorado
pitch
of
tents in
us.
the
In the
backyard?
front yard.
Very
I'm
colorful.
always pitching
Well,
the
hope
tent.
maybe
What do you
someone
mean?
will put you up. Maybe we can get a clip of this, and someone can help
No,
put
we're
you up
staying
or
with
something.
family
We're covering
in
a lot.
some areas, and we're like booking
Hotels,
motels. But yeah,
We-
it'll still
we're gonna be
close
showered.
quarters.
Okay.
Shower dish.
Okay, you won't really.
We're
be
gonna find
He's
out
like
how
me.
much
Holding
we
up
actually
signs.
like each other.
We're not allowing Dan to shower. He has to keep his original must the entire tour.
Yep.
The benefit of doing the tour the way we're doing it and going back to essentially all of our homes is as we're passing through those cities, we know people.
Yeah.
So we've had family and friends that were gracious enough to let us sleep like on their floor or on their couch for a lot of the dates. There's only a few dates where we need to get hotels or motels or, sleep on the side of the road. But
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
yeah.
Holiday sit.
But overall, we're
That's
pretty
nice.
set on the sleeping situation as far as not sleeping in the van.
I get to be the little spoon every night.
Oh.
So who's gonna drive the most?
Primarily me.
Okay.
Probably Tony.
It's going to be awful.
We're gonna
Mainly because I don't
The
trust
rest
people
of
to
us are
drive my
just gonna-
van and pull my trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to learn how to drive and pull a trailer.
Hey,
how
opposite when you're going backwards. Is,
Okay, you can back it up though.
There you go.
How
I
many
feel
of you
like
guys
it.
have done anything like this
This is
before?
running
Is this like your Is this your first time doing something like a tour like this?
I have
first
just much smaller situation.
Same.
We didn't have a trailer, so.
Yep.
Small scale. like,
And then
within
also
the
like a
state.
little bit shorter. I guess this is kind of long.
11
Usually we
shows
do
in
like a
11
4-day
days.
weekend. Maybe I think the longest stint was probably 7 days for me. So
Yeah, it's about the same for me.
Because I've noticed you're all younger than me, but you're not right out of high school either.
How old are
I'm
you now,
guessing.
Mike?
I'm
You're all
57.
younger than me.
You don't look a day over 27.
I'm 57.
Are you really?
Yeah.
She's lying.
No, she's my
That's not
32.
64.
Lying on the spoken
64.
poetry podcast tonight. This is outrageous.
1964. Is that the right?
You are not.
No.
Well, anyways, well, that if that's true, which I'm not so sure about, I don't. Is this possible?
Don't be sure about it.
How old are you, Mike?
I'm 48.
You look a day over 26.
I feel like Leah's got you beat.
No.
She's like
almost.
90.
Oh, I am 95. Yeah.
It's gonna help. AARP discount coffees at McDonald's on this trip's gonna be immaculate.
I got
Flying
a
J's
petition
is
to
gonna
join
be my best
AARP
friend.
just the other day on my email. I
No.
swear to God. Swear to God.
No.
It was
As-
offensive.
As they keep increasing the retirement age.
Offensive.
What is it, 75 now?
Hey, don't worry. We'll help find you a good home once we become
I do.
famous.
You guys are gonna have to put me in a home and bring me my tambourine, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
She's gonna be sitting there. Hey, you whippersnappers!
Right? Exactly. Just wheel me through to the shows. It'll be fine.
So, what is it like being a little bit older than maybe some of the musicians we see and doing your first tour like a kid?
Do
in
you
a
want
way?
an honest answer or an answer you can publish?
I want an honest man. I'm gonna
honest
pick out the
answer.
people who have not been
Honest
talking very much. The shy people tonight. Benji's, what's this like for you? I'm gonna make you speak for the
Look at the
class.
Look at the
we
camera.
play with a lot of other bands that are, some of them are a lot younger than us, and I mean honestly I feel like we're a lot better than they are.
Look at that.
And
Not me,
but
yo.
like, and it's not even, anyone can be as good as you want at any age that you want. I don't think it really defines anything at all but experience. But if you're not putting that experience into the right sections, then it's not going to show. It's person to person, and I think that
Look at the camera.
we have an amazing
That's
band.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm
Regardless-
not trying to be rude, but look at those guys. I don't
regardless
need
of how old we all are, we have an amazing band. And I think that we're all very mature people, and it comes across
Except for Tony.
in the music. And I think the way that it comes across in the music is because in that maturity, you get synergy. And you get people that can communicate and who are willing to try new things with each other. It comes through in every song we've ever written together. And I think that that's where we separate ourselves from bands that are like us, regardless of our age differences.
What would you say to other people who are getting a little older, or that they're thinking about this, but...
I am
Do
old
it.
people.
I think you should do it. Like,
Do
I mean,
it.
it's fun. We do run into, like, obviously people in our age group have different lives where they're married and they have kids and they have careers. So it's harder for us to pull people in to see us when we play a weekday show. And sometimes that's hard when you're maybe one of the best bands on the bill and you can't bring many people because they just, they have their life to worry about. So that, I think with the age, that's probably the hardest, is it's hard to pull friends in to make that fan base because their lives are much more set and structured. Whereas when we were younger, you could tell somebody with 15 minutes notice and they could show up. Yeah. And
we're not all Ben's age. By the way, Ben is the baby of the band.
The baby.
I thought you were younger.
The ripe young age of 24.
You.
25, actually.
25, 24, same thing. I'm in my 30s.
I
I'm
remember.
57.
Obviously.
How old are you? I thought.
I'm 31.
What?
Speaking of being 30, I heard. I think Adele's last album was just titled 30, right? She
Yeah.
does her age. And I remember hearing her speak about the album and mentioning, like, when she hit 30, she kind of felt like, wait a minute, no one's really making music geared towards this age audience. And so she was like, if people think, the material I'm writing now is just, like, old or not trendy, whatever, like, I'm this age now, I want people to make music this age, or geared towards this age group. And I think lyrically, people in our age group might relate to some of our songs, but I think it would also appeal to younger audiences. But
yeah, I mean, it's authenticity. It's right about what you know. And I'm 32, so like the experiences that I've had and I have are gonna come from a perspective of somebody who is 32, in hopes that people probably within my age range is gonna listen to it and be like, I've been there. I know what that's like. I can understand that struggle or that feeling. Because, getting older, it's an interesting dynamic because you look at it, and I've been doing this since I was 13, and you hit 30, and you're like, man, is there space for me?
That was 2 decades ago for you.
Yeah, is there space in this space for someone at my age? And it's getting through that because, art doesn't have requirements. So if anybody out there who's older is like, oh, am I too old? No. You're never too old to make art. Art doesn't have restrictions. You can... there are artists right now, still playing in their 80s.
Yeah.
I
Look
saw...
at Mick Jagger.
Oh, really?
I saw
Is he
Ozzy
80?
Osbourne and Black Sabbath play.
Tony Bennett's
That man's about to
92.
keel over.
Yeah, I saw Ozzy Osbourne up there playing in 70s. And it's there isn't a requirement for this. There is an audience for any kind of art that you could possibly create. So if I had advice, that voice in your head, ignore it because it's wrong. It's never too late to pursue passion because you only do this once.
Unless that voice is telling you you're hungry, then I recommend you eat a burger.
Okay.
well, also if you believe in what, genuinely believe in what you're creating, other people will believe in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Authenticity is contagious.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of music nowadays people reject it because they know that it's not authentic. It's people trying to make something for a
It's
certain
manufactured for
yeah.
an audience.
It's manufactured art. And there will always be a difference between art that's manufactured and art that's authentic. And the goal is to be as authentic as possible so people see how real we are, despite the fact that we're almost in a home.
We're just a little
questions
geriatric.
about specific songs.
Today I'm wasting my time. Where do we go? Where do we go? Today I'm out of my mind. Where do we go? Tell me now, which way to go? Tell me all the things that you think I should know. Bring me back home. Tell me if I know you won't be on my money, your money.
Where do you keep getting this cookie from? No, but like I've seen you just like pop up with cookies in your
They're
hand.
delicious. But as the name inner monologue would suggest, it's about some. Why?
It's about like trying to.
What are you gonna explain?
Yeah.
I play the guitar in it. Inner monologue's about when someone tries to tell you that your dreams aren't worth the time or the effort, and inside of your head, your inner monologue is saying, "Why are you saying this? I know you're trying to force your life on me, but I ain't built like you. So fuck you. Fuck what you do. I'ma do me, and everything's gonna be gravy." And that's what inner monologue.
That's what I said.
Gravy.
Yeah, I just translated what Brittany said.
Yeah. Whole notes.
Shit.
Hold on.
And we're honored.
Yeah.
We're just, this is the end of the show.
Oh, got it.
I'm doing the closeout.
Hell yeah.
Where you can see us. Because you heard my voice in the background echoing, but you haven't heard me for a while. So thank you so much
Yeah.
to Benji, Dan, Brittany, Leah, Zach, Tony, my guest co-host Jacinda Gabby. Oh, we were going to talk about your book, but we're going to do a separate plug for that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's so thank you so much. Can you see us all here in the good
I hope
view?
so.
All right.
Squeeze it real tight.
Yeah. So thank you so much for checking this out, and I can't believe what we did. There's going to be so much more. I'm going to hit you guys up for individual interviews in the future. But see you next time on Smoking Poetry Podcast.
Hey,
Smoking Poetry. You ought to watch it. Let's see how that.
Come on in, take a seat. Everything's imaginary. You cannot be hurt by what you're gonna see. So have a drink, then 3 more. I want you to be comfortable. Gonna remove myself from my brain. Feel the lack of control. Speeding in your convertible.
That is beautiful. That is
So we crashed. Now you see something new.
I'm not brave enough to sit in front of
I
you
will
for this
catch my
one.
whole head on fire, right?
That could be because when you did your concert, you had that thing. But I'm not doing that with the fire. I'm not that freaking brave. Oh my good. Oh.
So we rotate through shifts, sex, dinner, and arguments in the end. It's this that's so crippling. It makes it so we can't walk away. And this gets misjudged for long. We're both hopelessly, toxically stuck. So have a drink, then 7 more, till we're both slurring our words. This is the language by which we can communicate. I self-destruct, it makes you wanna fuck. These alone are enough to know one day we will evaporate. So while love is still wet, let's have sex and talk ourselves to death. Move like snakes in a barrel down the staircase. And then have a drink, you fucking whore. And don't worry about closure. I'm moving on a train towards the sun. And because all the drinks I don't recall anything we said at all. Honestly, I'm not even sure who you are. Somewhere away, slowly learning that life's okay, safe to sorry. Just play the worries away. For all the things I've got to remember, shine it away. I've become